Ice fishing. Ice fishing. Ice fishing.
Ice fishing.
If you haven't figured it out yet, we're going ice fishing. So, what do I have in here? This is a very good question. So, gear that I'm taking ice fishing. Now, I don't get to go very often. This is my annual trip to my family's up in Lake Plattsburgh, New York. And you guys will recognize that because it's where the FLW typically launches for the Costa events and the BFLs in the Northeast Division. Sometimes they launch in Ticonderoga. Basically, my family lives between Ty and Plattsburgh. I'm sure I've mentioned this in a previous video, but for the new subscribers that don't already know, my mother and father live up that way. So, I'm from Pennsylvania. It's a little bit of a drive. We got about a 5.5 hour travel day. But in this video, what I wanted to touch base on is some of the things that I'm taking with me and what I specifically need. So let's take a look at some of the things that I have packed and ready to go in this bag. Now this is a bag that I take out on the water. This is like my go-to carry everything style bag, in case of emergency bag, if you would like to say. But this is also like my extra supplies bag. So I always carry this one because worst case scenario, if it doesn't fit in the sled, I can throw it on my back. I know it's a lot to haul out, but I like to have extra stuff just in case. Hats, waterproof gloves, light gloves. I need to get a pair of gloves without fingers, but I don't have that yet, so I'll have to get to that eventually. More hats. Auger equipment. This is to service and repair anything. There's an extra gas line in here. There are a few tools, some wrenches, things of that nature, a couple Allen keys, stuff like that. Hot hands. Look at that. Real magic. Sometimes the line gets a little messed up and starts to coil, especially like fishing spoons. If you don't have a barrel swivel on the end, it'll start to coil up. I actually didn't even know I had these hot hands because, spoiler alert, there's more hot hands in here that I just bought. Always a necessity is ice picks. Ice picks, you fall in, put pressure on them, out comes a spike. Basically, your whole goal then is to drag yourself out. They said there's 8 inches of clear ice, so I don't think we're going to need them, but I carry them just in case. Never a bad thing to be precautious. My other bag, hot hands, super hands, and regular hot hands. What I found out the issue with filming during ice fishing is that if you don't keep your batteries warm or your GoPros warm, they end up not working. The batteries die immediately. GoPro hates cold weather, or at least in my experience. So what I end up doing is I'll take a hot hand pack and I'll interchange them, but I keep throwing them in my little compartment, my little like GoPro carrying case, and then when I'm charging my batteries or anything like that, it keeps the batteries warm so that when I can throw them back in the camera, they're actually working. I had a video last year where I lost all ability to film. It was like -20 on the ice. I have a tent. I don't typically bring a tent. My family's more of a hole hopping type of deal. So because I don't have a Vexilar either, or like a depth finder of any sort, so we hole hop a lot. And with that being said, when it gets to that cold, the GoPro just dies. You just don't have that option. So anyway, in here, because I couldn't fit these in my bag, are my pants. I always have a pair of pants. These are Columbia's. They're just the best thing I've found so far. They're waterproof. They're just a nice pair of snow pants. I have cleats, or what you'd consider yak tracks, cleats, some generic pairs, stuff like that. I have all those. I actually have like 6 or 7 pairs of these. I just keep piling them up in here. I don't need them all, but I carry them just in case I had fishing with friends or family. A lot of times I fish with family. So I have a pair for like my mother, father, wife, friends if they're out there. I always carry a bunch of pairs just in case it's glare ice and they're having a tough time walking around. These are just an extra. These are frog togs. They're a light pair. They're wind resistant. Sometimes people get cold. If they get cold, I just have them throw a pair of frog togs over. Sometimes that'll warm them up a little bit, just take that wind off. Mask. Another mask. Looks like that's it for that compartment. Next compartment. More yak tracks, More of those. One good item here. Clip these on. Pair of forceps. You can clip them to your jacket. Clip them to your jacket like so. Phenomenal. Now in this case it's obviously not a jacket, but clip them to your jacket, then they're always there. Although sometimes if you don't clip them well enough, or once they get ice on them, this clip will stop working. I have dropped a few pairs down the hole. I probably should find a better way to figure that out, but I don't have one right now, so, you know, that happens. I don't think there's anything else in here. Oh, maybe. A couple extra batteries. Nothing super exciting for the the bubbler. What else we got? Spare hooks. Hook compartment. Owners, mosquito, circle hook. Some swivels just in case. Mustad. These are live bait hooks, and more owner circle hooks. 2s and 1s basically. I'm using these for small shiners, stuff like that. Circle hooks are nice on tip-ups. You'll see that in a minute. With the tip-ups, you end up having, they just basically hook themselves. Makes it a lot easier. Next compartment. What do we got in here? Got in here bobbers. Little compartment pack here. Bobbers, treble hooks. Not that I use much of this stuff. I use the bobbers just to once I send a sounder down or send a weight down. That's one of these guys. Let's see if I can get this out without spilling everything. One of these, they clip on, big weight, clips on your line, drops down to the bottom. Just measures the depth for you. Once you get the depth, you can basically just send the, or mark it with the bobber, and then you always know you're about a foot below the bottom, or however deep you want to be. Without a fish finder, I end up using those quite a bit. Another pack. This actually is a good example here. We're going to be fishing in upstate New York. We're going to be dealing with pike and pickerel. Occasionally, I will have a steel leader that I throw on. It's very rare I use it unless we're in like a very heavy, densely populated pickerel lake. Otherwise, usually I can get away without. This is a spare cotter pin and key for the auger. And again, another spare. I always carry multiple just in case something goes wrong. That's there. I also, my blades on my auger attach with, I think this is a 8mm M580 bolt. Full set of spare bolts just in case. I can replace all 6 just in case something goes wrong. Again, I like to be prepared. That's just who I am as a person. I don't like to get up there and not have a problem and not be able to fix it. The tool, socket wrench, or socket screwdriver, puts those bolts on, just in case. Sinkers. Last pocket is line. I got line, lots of line. Tip-up line, 15, 20-pound fluoro leader, just so I can use it. This is, I don't even know who makes this. I must have, oh, it's Sunline. It's actually 6-pound Sunline. Sunline, and I think I got this in an ice box at one point. Mystery tackle box, 4-pound test, 6-pound test, trilene ice line. These are all just ice lines. I don't actually need to take them out on the ice. I'm never swapping out line on the ice, but I take, sometimes you lose a leader on a tip-up, and you need to change one of those out every once in a while, so I like to have these. This would mostly just be if I was going to change it out on a rod when I got home or something like that. Line. By now you're probably wondering, what's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Well, ironically, what's in the box is the essential tool of ice fishing. Now this looks like I probably put it in upside down. So, surprise, surprise, I put it in upside down. But what's actually in the box is my auger bit. It shipped in this way about 3.5 years ago. I have been using it and carrying it in this box this whole time. This is a 10-inch auger bit. It goes with my power auger, gas-powered auger. My wife bought it for me for Christmas about 3 years back. This auger I actually keep wrapped up during the off-season after I run it out of gas so that it stays nice. This is a gas auger 2-cycle. It is a extreme power. It's actually what we got on Amazon. It's 1.4 kilowatt, think that's what KW stands for. Correct me in the comments, I'm sure. It is a great auger, works out well. Never had a problem with it, except I did have to change a gas line one time. It dried out. So basically what ended up happening was the line was leaking right where it connects to the gas tank. 10-inch auger bit, rips through the ice pretty well. You'll get to see it. I don't think I've ever explained it in a previous video. Maybe, but either way, this is my gas auger. That will be doing all of our work. But in the event that something does happen, again, I always like to be prepared. I have an 8-inch Eskimo here. This will go with me. It is just a hand auger, just in case for some reason we can't get the gas auger started or something breaks or something doesn't work. I always like to have the old traditional one, and I could crank them down if I need to, worst case scenario. So I guess I just have a couple other small things to show you here. Nothing really exciting. I've got a couple scoops. They slide into my bag here, and basically, let's see if I can get this open one-handed. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. There we go, look at that. Scoops slide in here. That's the only thing that's in this compartment. In this compartment are all my tip-ups. I just run a Frable. It's just a Blackhawk. They're only like I think they're like a $10 tip-up. They're cheap. You can see they're starting to rust. I've had them now for 5 years, I believe. I redid them one time because they were starting to freeze up on me, so I re-lubed them in the center column. But realistically, they have lasted me. They're only a $10 tip-up. I think you can get them for like $9.99 on Amazon. And they make Frable makes a dog bone one as well. I can't get that zipped the rest of the way with one hand. So those are just cheap. They're efficient. I don't ice fish enough for it to be something that I need to spend $50 a tip up on. Like, that's just not who I am. I like to go out and have some fun, be able to hang out with my family, and I only get out maybe anywhere to 5 to 10 times a year. This season in Pennsylvania, we don't even have ice yet. Water's still open, and it's January 17th. So, I mean, realistically, there is no ice right now. Maybe it'll get colder. Maybe I'll be able to do a little bit in PA. But this quite possibly could be my only trip this season. So I don't feel it's worth it to spend a lot of money on that stuff because I'm not going to be using them all that much. I'd rather invest my time and money into my like open water stuff, my boat and my gear for that. So that leads me into the final thing. I have a few cheap rods. This is a Shakespeare Ugly Stick. I mean, everybody's seen that at some point. It's just like a cheap $25 rod and reel. This other thing, I don't even know what this is. I think it's made by HT. It is. This is just a light noodle rod, the blue one. So that's nothing super exciting. And this is a clam rod. Again, I think this was like $50. That's about what I put into it. Who is this? Dave Getz, maybe? Grenz? I can't read it. Anyway, this is like a $50 rod. This is a little bit stouter. I think they're only, all three of them are only 24 inches. I'm fishing for like bass and calico. I'm not super picky. So I think that's it. Do I have anything else? Oh, I do. One last thing. Let me set you down right here. Let's get you. There we go. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Okay. So one last thing I have to pop out is my ice fishing box. I'm going to flip this open, then I'll grab you, show you what I got. I don't think there's anything that's special in here that anyone's going to need to see. So you have some spoons there. These are PK flutter spoons. I think there's a PK something else right there. These are little hair jigs. I cannot remember what those are called. They're very popular. Can't remember off the top of my head. Couple little larva looking plastics that go on these little jigs up here. Gosh, I don't remember what these are called. They're very popular too. Couple more spoons. Few more spoons. Couple jigging wraps, I think those are. You can tell I'm not a real big ice fisherman. Some black bug looking things. Few more spoons, couple more. I think these are still jigging wraps. And some rattle traps. And then I have this piece that connects my auger to a hand-powered drill. I probably won't be taking that this time. I use that specifically when I'm on electric only lakes. Like I was saying about that one piece, it allows me to connect my auger, my Eskimo, the red auger here, allows me to connect it to a 24-volt drill that I have. We have a local lake that is electric only, meaning I can't have a gas-powered auger out on the ice even. There's no gas on that lake at all. So because of that, I end up using a hand auger, but I'll take that bit, put it through my red auger, and I'll use an electric drill just to fish that lake specifically. I bought it exclusively for that lake. So, I mean, that's just something I have just in case that lake hasn't froze this year. So, you know, you haven't got to see it yet. But you will see it eventually. So, I think that's it for my packing. Gas, clothes, boots. Boots, I wear a pair of Rockies. Just normal everyday, like hunting boots. They're 800 gram. Anyway, so I think that's everything. I guess we'll get this trip started. So stay tuned. The next video you see will be me up in basically Plattsburgh, New York. We're fishing up that way. Hopefully it all goes well. This is a pond that we're going to be fishing that's known for big bass, big pike. We should see hopefully a bass over 4. I had a 6 come out of there one time, so they are there. Monsters do exist. So if you like this video, thumbs up the video down below, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, just roll that music.